This is a true story. I was in the judge's chambers, and I was talking to a prosecutor about a case, and my guy had been charged with methamphetamine, having methamphetamine. And the prosecutor said, the prosecutor went from doing very well in high school, straight to college, being in a sorority, nothing wrong with that, being in a sorority, doing very well, going straight to law school, and then she became a prosecutor. That was her real life experience. And she was raised very upper middle class, which isn't unusual for lawyers. Anyway, she said, well, here's the deal, Miss Webb. I chose to be a lawyer, and your guy chose to be a meth addict. So he just has to pay the consequences, and I get the consequences for going to law school. And she sort of said it like that. Here's the problem with that. She didn't go to law school and become a success in a vacuum. She did that because she had great parents and a lot of good friends, and she worked hard, and she had teachers who cared about her and who praised her, and she was pretty, and a million other things that really helped her along the way. But what she did was take sole credit for every success that she had, and use that sort of philosophy to say, and I'm going to blame him, my client, who had a problem with methamphetamine, for how he turned out. And I'm not going to count what sort of parents he had, or what sort of support networks he has, or what kind of biology, chemical thing that happened to him, or, that sort of differentiates addicts from non-addicts. I'm not going to ask what makes somebody pick up the meth pipe for the first time. Not even going to ask that. I'm just going to say, well, he just has to have the consequences of his actions. Well, she doesn't live in a vacuum, and neither does he. Ultimately, we're all in the same community. That's what gets me. I celebrate the fact that she's a success. What I want for my clients, and what I wish that more prosecutors and frankly more people in the public understood, is that we are in this together. That my client doing his meth, I know it doesn't just affect him. The victim of that is also his family, but ultimately the victims of drug addiction are the addict and the people who care about the addict. It is not someone it is not the prosecutor's office. It is not the people who are making comments in the Tulsa world saying, well, we need to just put every drug addict on an island and then blow up the island, because I've seen that. We're in this together, and it doesn't serve any purpose to sort of use this idea of, well, you do what you do and then you get the consequences of your action as some sort of weapon against people who have addiction problems. It's not fair to them. It's not even fair to our community, because ultimately those addicts are going to get out of jail and they need our help. And it doesn't serve anybody to just put them away and say, I'm not going to think about you anymore. You made your choice. Because what I promise you is people don't choose to be meth addicts. Now, they might make a choice sometime to pick up a pipe for the first time or to shoot drugs for the first time, but they didn't get there. That, I guarantee you, that they thought that was the best next step that they had. And imagine what kind of corner you would have to be in to think, you know what, the next best decision I can make in my life is to put a needle in my arm. Like, that's where they are. So for the love of God, have some sympathy for that.
Free will isn't a weapon.
Free will is not a weapon.